Welcome to this segment of News Venezuela. This is World in Evolution, your preferred news channel. Today, we will talk about Jorge Rodriguez's statement, "They won't come." Jorge Rodriguez affirms that Chavismo will reject European Union observation in the presidential elections. Why do they have to come? In a press conference held on July 19, Jorge Rodriguez, president of the National Assembly elected in 2020, reaffirmed Chavismo's stance of not allowing the European Union (EU) to observe the upcoming presidential elections in 2024. This declaration has sparked intense debates both in Venezuela and on the international stage. Rodriguez's assertion has heightened tensions between the Venezuelan government and the EU, raising questions about the transparency and fairness of future electoral processes. The question here is it a sovereign decision or is something hidden? During the press conference broadcasted by Venezolana de Television, VTV, Jorge Rodriguez made it clear that his government vehemently opposes any interference from foreign powers in the country's internal affairs. He asserted that such matters are exclusively the domain of the Venezuelan people, categorically rejecting the EU's involvement in overseeing the elections. The Chavista leader also emphasized that Venezuela refrains from interfering in the affairs of Europe, France, or Great Britain, questioning why other countries should get involved in Venezuelan electoral processes. In his words, it is imperative to respect the laws and constitution of the country. On July 13, Jorge Rodriguez launched a furious tirade against the EU, expressing insults and shouts after the European Parliament passed a resolution condemning arbitrary disqualifications of opposition leaders by the Nicolas Maduro regime. During his speech at the Legislative Palace, the government official ruled out the possibility of inviting the EU to the presidential elections scheduled for 2024. Addressing Josep Borrell, the High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Rodriguez was clear and firm in stating that no European observation mission would come to Venezuela while they represented the Venezuelan state. This statement reflects Chavismo's unwavering stance on maintaining Venezuela's autonomy and sovereignty in electoral matters. Rodriguez contends that the EU violated a previously signed agreement with Venezuela. Although he did not provide specific details about this agreement, it is evident that there are discrepancies between the Venezuelan government and the EU regarding electoral processes and the participation of international observers. The government official also expressed indignation at the Eurodeputies who requested an independent procedure for nominations to the National Electoral Council, CNE. These requests probably add fuel to the fire of tensions between both parties and hinder constructive dialogue to address political and electoral differences. Chavismo's rejection of international observation by the EU in the 2024 presidential elections raises questions about the transparency and legitimacy of the electoral process. The presence of international observers can play a crucial role in ensuring fair, free, and transparent elections and in strengthening confidence in the results. The refusal to allow observers could be perceived by some as a lack of willingness to guarantee an impartial electoral process and could raise questions about the legitimacy of the results. Amidst political polarization and tensions between the Venezuelan government and the EU, it is essential to remember the importance of dialogue and cooperation to address common challenges. The presence of international observers should not be seen as interference in Venezuela's internal affairs but as a contribution to transparency and confidence in democratic processes. Jorge Rodriguez's firm stance against EU observation in the 2024 presidential elections has further heightened tensions between Venezuela and the international community. The refusal to allow international observers raises serious questions about the transparency and legitimacy of future electoral processes. In this context, it is crucial for both parties to seek constructive dialogue and find solutions to ensure fair and transparent elections that reflect the will of the Venezuelan people. International cooperation and transparency in the electoral process are essential to strengthen confidence in Venezuelan democracy and pave the way for a more stable and prosperous future. That concludes the news. I invite you to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell, selecting the All option, to receive all updates from this channel. Additionally, if you are an enterprising person looking to make money from home, I invite you to visit my website, Self-Made Millionaires, online. I'll be waiting for you there. Blessings.